It's December 2024. The Zambian government arrests two men, one Zambian, one Mozambican. The government accuses these two men of plotting to kill Zambia's current president, Mr. Hakainde Hichilema, using witchcraft. The weapons, a live chameleon and a dozen charms. Fast forward to September 2025. The courts, through the magistrate court, finds these two men guilty using the Witchcraft Act, a colonial law that was passed in 1914, about 50 years before Zambia was born as a country. This was a law that colonizers enacted in order to control and to police black people's beliefs. And now, more than a century later, our own government is using it. The magistrate court judge who presided over this case, Magistrate Fine Mayambu, has handed down a 2-year jail sentence to each of the two men involved, while calling them enemies of all Zambian people. But here is the fundamental question. If witchcraft remains a difficult thing to prove in terms of its existence, was the state able to prove before the courts of law, beyond a reasonable doubt, that these two men were guilty of witchcraft? Even if the Zambian government was able to prove before the court that somehow these two men should be found guilty using this Witchcraft Act of 1914, here's where my real concern is. It's the backdrop through which all of this is happening. Let's talk about it. This witchcraft trial is happening against the backdrop of witchcraft itself as an issue, as a topic of conversation being linked to the dispute between the current government of Zambia with the family of the late president, Edgar Chagwa Lungu, who died early June this year and is yet to be buried. As a bit of a recap, the body of the former president, Edgar Lungu, is still stuck in South Africa as the dispute between the government of Zambia and the family of the late president is ongoing, where they cannot agree on where the former president should be buried and how. There are some, both in Zambia and some within the Lungu family, that accuse the government's motives, or rather the government's insistence on how and where the former president should be buried. They link that to witchcraft and ritualistic reasons. The Zambian government strongly denies these claims and accusations. But notice the pattern. Witchcraft is now linked to two major headlines that are shaping news coming from Zambia.